Bush's vacated award and inviting him to all Heisman-related events moving forward. Bush says he's honored to return to the Heisman family and looks forward to working with the Heisman Trust to advance the mission of the organization.
When they're doing the Heisman Trophy presentation, Reggie Bush should be right smack in the middle of it, because that's how important and celebrated Reggie Bush should be in this whole situation.
Chris Fowler should have to step around him doing it.
Very happy for the brother. To me, he never left the brotherhood. And just grateful that the Heisman Trust did the right thing.
The Heisman Trust says the changing climate of college sports led to Bush's reinstatement. The creation of NIL and the system of compensation that evolved from it allow for a different perspective on the improper benefits Bush received at USC.
Well, it really came up during the Heisman weekend when we had meetings, this very issue. And there are a lot of guys who were outspoken about just doing the right thing. We felt like it was the right thing to be able to do it. With him going into the College Football Hall of Fame, that kind of broke the ice in our mindset.
Like Charlie Ward, Tim Henning, the Heisman Trust Associate Director, was also in the room when Bush was given his trophy back. Henning told me it was a real celebratory atmosphere at the time and that Bush was fully embraced by the other Heisman winners present. I'm Coley Harvey, ESPN.
Thanks, Coley. We definitely want to get the insight of our senior college football insider, Pete Thamel, now. And Pete, what in your mind is the significance of the Heisman Trust returning this award to Reggie Bush?
Al, I think it's hard to overstate the significance of this award going back to Reggie Bush. My 2 decades of covering college football, he's the single most electric player that I've seen. He transcended sport. There's only 3 or 4 guys the last 2 decades that have transcended sport. Reggie Bush accounted for 2,890 yards total his junior year alone at USC. He brought an aura and electricity to him. I think it's telling. USC's president, Carol Folt, was the lead of the statement. For that university, for this program to now have 8 official Heisman winners and to reconnect that historic program with that electric player is something that's going to resonate today in college football.
No, we know he was peerless in 2005 when he had, won the Heisman and had almost 3,000 all-purpose yards. But just to put in perspective, Pete, the man averaged 8.5 yards from scrimmage for his entire career. He was absolute magic when the ball touched his hands. Pete Thamel with the latest surrounding Reggie Bush getting his Heisman back.
Still to come on SportsCenter. The College Game Day crew has their picks for the top QBs and wide receivers, set to hear their names called in the first round of the NFL Draft. Plus, which strengths will follow Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors to the NFL? Nick Saban weighs in on his former rivals from LSU ahead. And our draft guru delivers a potential surprise trade that could change the course of tomorrow's opening round.
Back in action tonight. Both conferences' 1 seeds will be on the floor. Start with the Celtics. They cruised to a 20-point win over the Heat in Game 1 behind 22 three-pointers. That's insane. It tied a playoff franchise record, too, and the odds project a pretty easy win for Boston tonight, too. ESPN Bet favors them by nearly 15 points. The Pelicans look to bounce back after a tough Game 1 loss against the Thunder. OKC now an overwhelming favorite to win the series. Zion Williamson officially out again for Game 2 tonight. And New Orleans isn't the only team without a star player. Milwaukee's gone their first 2 games of the playoffs without Giannis. Over the course of the season, the Bucks had a losing record without him. Pelicans were narrowly above 500 without Zion. Mike and Tony have much more with PTI's bonus segment.
All right, Wilbon. Which star's return is most needed to advance, Giannis or Zion?
Ooh, Tony, this is good and this is difficult. I think the answer is Giannis. We saw Giannis be out for 1.5 minutes during the first round last year against Miami, and Miami might have beaten them anyway. We learned about Miami and how good they were on a march to the NBA Finals. But I don't know that without Giannis that they can win this first round series against the Pacers. That's going to be tough. And yet, having no Zion against Oklahoma City is the youngest number 1 seed like ever. So I'm going to say that New Orleans could possibly win that series without Zion. I don't see the Milwaukee Bucks advancing to the next round without getting Giannis back in there, and the sooner the better.
This is a remarkable series of statements you have made to me. It's utterly remarkable. This is not a close call at all. The answer is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Milwaukee is the 3 seed Well, you said it's a close call.
Well,
Milwaukee is the 3 seed. Indiana is the 6 seed. If Milwaukee has its entire team, they should win this series. Zion Williamson, even if he comes back, that's a 1 in an 8. You can talk about the fact that Oklahoma City is the youngest number 1 seed of all time, but they just spent this entire season proving that they were much better than most teams in the league, including New Orleans. I mean, I think if they're both back, Oklahoma City still has a much better chance to win that series than New Orleans. And I think the answer is Milwaukee and Giannis.
But here's the bottom line. We'd like to see both of them back. It'd be good for the game and good for the viewers if both of those players were back. They are spectacular to watch. One is a championship. One hopes to get one. Come back, please. That's it. We're done. Back to you.
What I do before the game is a 30-minute meditation, focusing on the inhale and the exhale. All that's doing is training me to be in the present moment. I started this my senior year in high school. Being an athlete that is aspiring to be as great as he can be, you go through some battles mentally, and you want to be fresh every single day. Once I started, stayed disciplined with it, I realized why it was so powerful. What I listen to when I meditate are these certain frequencies, that help tune a certain type of consciousness that I want to set myself up for. Everything's a vibration. After that, I just play Bob Marley. I'd say my favorite Bob Marley song has got to be Jamin. It's something that, gets me in the right state of being, that just sets me up for, complete response to every situation that I'm going to face on the field, and come from a calm center that, helps me perform at my best.
Smarter Picks is brought to you by NerdWallet.
I don't want to wait in vain for your pick. Let's help him out there. Here's our ESPN Analytics draft predictor, and it projects JJ McCarthy is his landing spot tomorrow night. So the model gives him a 1 in 3 chance to be one of the first 3 names off the board, 15% chance at number 2 leading the way. However, he's most likely to hear his name be called 6th overall, with about a 31% chance to do just that. And if you look over at ESPN Bet, McCarthy is the betting favorite to be the 5th overall pick, actually becoming so just earlier this morning. That pick is, of course, currently held by his former head coach, Jim Harbaugh. You